May 15th. Our prayers lay the track down which God's spark can come. Like a mighty locomotive, His power is irresistible, but it cannot reach us without rails. Watchman Nee. In 1949, the Isle of Louise in the Hebrides experienced a massive revival which spread throughout the entire island. It filled the church with the youth, extended through even the most resistant communities, and brought thousands of lost souls to Christ. It was not charismatic preaching that brought about this revival, but, as today's quote puts it, fervent and persevering prayer that laid down the tracks for God to come. Leslie Bennett describes the prayer warriors who were key figures in the Hebrides revival. Meet Peggy and Christine Smith. The Smith sisters rarely left their roadside cottage in Barvas on the Isle of Louise off the coast of Scotland. If you happened upon them, you'd feel compassion for the elderly ladies in their 80s. Peggy, the elder of the two, was blind. Christine was severely crippled with arthritis. You may assume their season for serving the Lord had come and gone. But despite appearances, God had an assignment for these two ailing sisters who were particularly sensitive and responsive to His Spirit. Like other discerning villagers in 1949, Peggy and Christine recognized the church wasn't thriving as it once had. God gave them a burden over the spiritual indifference among Christians. They were troubled by a growing trend of young people toward worldliness. It became clear that an outpouring of God's Spirit in revival was the only hope to supernaturally reverse the situation. Revival fires had been experienced in Barvas 10 years earlier. Men and women whose lives had been forever changed were keenly aware of the island's dismal spiritual state and were willing to devote themselves to the work of prayer. None are more hailed than the Smith sisters. Peggy and Christine believed God gave them the promise of Isaiah 44:3. I will pour water on the thirsty land and streams on the dry ground. In faith, they inclined their hearts to pray and believed that God would be faithful to His word. They appealed to their pastor, Reverend James Mackay, and urged him to call the leaders of the church for special times of seeking the Lord. The decision was made to pray through the night twice a week. Peggy and Christine rose from their beds to pray fervently during the same hours that the church leaders gathered in a thatched barn. 18 months later, revival broke out. Today's prayer. Lord, make us a people of fervent and persevering prayer. May we lay down the tracks for revival to come.